Hey guys, guess who just got a new microphone? This guy right here. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading as much as I usually do. Things in life have been a bit difficult for me and I just really haven't had the time, energy, or really motivation to do that many videos. So to make up for it, I'm gonna give you my own weeaboo story just to make up for everything and missing out on uploading videos. Now this is gonna be totally off script from just how I remember it, so I'm probably gonna ramble for a little bit, so hopefully that'll be okay. Let's get on to the story. This story will mainly revolve around Shay. That's the name I'm gonna give her because I don't really want to say out her real name. When I had first met her, it was around middle school, and at the time I was a loser with 0 friends and was very antisocial. I just wanted people to leave me alone, but without any friends I was actually pretty lonely. She was annoying, to say the least. She had that "lol, so random" kind of humor that came with the early 2000s, you know, the whole Invader Zim type shit. But eventually my loneliness won out and I became friends with her. I had already been to anime by then, but with her and her constant talking about it and constantly drawing it, it drew me more into being into anime and eventually becoming a weeaboo myself. But that's a bit of a story for another day. We remained friends even throughout high school and things like that. But when you graduate from college, you begin to realize that some people that were your friends in high school you were only friends with because you spent most of the day in class with them. And that's really how I found this out during a convention that we were supposed to go to. It had been close to 1 year since I had graduated and I was going to a business college instead of one of those big giant colleges that you spend all that freaking money for a freaking bachelor degree in barista Starbucks bullshit. So I decided to go into more of a business type of job. It was only maybe a year or 2 program. I got a bachelor's degree and I'm working pretty well, but at the time I was still in school. She was not. She was still busy living at home with her dad, constantly complaining that she had yet to go and actually get her cosmetology degree that she had been trying to get, but had too much anxiety over taking the test. So I thought, well, hey, since we haven't hung out in a while, why don't we go to a convention? I'd always wanted to go to one, and this would be the first time I'd go to one for the whole entire weekend instead of the one-day trip we went the year before. We agreed, and we had decided that we were going to cosplay as 2 Homestuck characters. She was going to be Kankri, and I was going to be Cronus. Of course, I offered to help her with her costume, which ended up involving me making both of our horns for her. I wanted to go with more of the bone structure kind of look instead of the whole cartoony candy corn kind of look. But as soon as I brought the horns to her, all finished and painted, and I thought I did a good job, and the first thing out of her mouth was that they looked like shit. Now, one thing you have to understand about Shay is that if it's not in her style, if it's not made 100% how she wants it, it's shit. If you don't draw in the anime style that she draws, then your style is too cartoony and it's too shit. If you make the horns try to look a bit more realistic, it's shit. So all this time I had spent months and months spending my own money to help her make these horns, she immediately started shaving them down and doing them herself as soon as I brought them to her, not listening to how they were supposed to be made and how they were supposed to go on the headband. But I decided, if she wants to do that, then fine, I don't really care. She's getting on my nerves. I don't want to deal with it. One thing you should know is, while I'm going to college, I'm also working and actually having a job. She doesn't. She's still mooching off of the money from the inheritance that her mother had left her, and it's going down south when all she's doing is spending it on stuff that she doesn't need instead of bothering to try to find a job and trying to get into a college that she actually wants to. But hey, that's your life, not mine. It's not really any of my business. Now, throughout this time that we had been working on trying to do stuff for this convention, she had been bragging to me about how she had already booked a room and that she was going to be spending it with her boyfriend there. And I thought, okay, cool. We both have rooms, we'll be both set, we can hang out all weekend. Well, as the time gets closer, and by closer I mean like 20 days to the convention, she starts messaging me about her dad won't let her stay in the hotel room or how he won't let her stay there because her boyfriend is staying there despite the fact that she's over 18 and therefore is an illegal adult and it ain't any of his business. I know for a fact that she's trying to weasel her way into my room, and by that time, I hadn't really been talking to her all that much, and I really wasn't putting up with it. I didn't tell her no, but I certainly didn't tell her that she would be staying in my room. I sort of just brushed it off. Friday came around and me and my parents decided to go down to the convention and get ready because, well, I can't drive due to personal reasons. And so we've gotten everything ready. I'm in a Hobbit costume because The Hobbit had just came out and I was super excited. I was being Bilbo Baggins. And she's not there. She had specifically told me that she, like, even though now she doesn't have her room, she was going to be coming down at least Friday and Saturday. Of course, I messaged her saying, "Oh, hey, when are you going to come down? I'm already down." And she says, "Oh, well, I'll be there in a couple hours." Time goes on, I meet some other cosplayers of The Hobbit, and we become friends and are still friends to this day, but throughout the day, it's just me, them, and my parents, and she's nowhere in sight. I keep messaging her saying, "Hey, where are you? You said you were going to be hanging out with me." Of course, she comes off with an excuse saying, "Oh, well, I'm going to be there later on, and she never shows up. Of course, I don't really care. I'm too busy spending time with people who actually want to spend time with me, so the first day goes down pretty well. The second day comes around and I'm cosplaying as Cronus Ampora. One thing that's very important to this is that I'm one of only 2 people at this convention actually cosplaying this character. And out of the 2 of us, I'm the only one who's doing the whole troll version, the other person just in a humanized version. And with Homestuck still being pretty popular back then, I was, not even joking, being chased down up escalators to get pictures. Not even joking, this girl almost broke her damn neck trying to chase me down the up escalator to get a picture. She was screaming and telling me to stop because she wanted to get me that picture or something like that, but it was pretty cool. And it was like really my first convention, really, with the whole costume and spending the whole entire weekend, so this was really fun, and she still wasn't there. I continued messaging her saying, "Hey, you said you were going to be here Saturday morning now. Well, where are you at?" And she said, "Oh, I'll be there later on at 12 o'clock. Well, 12 o'clock passes, I get invited to be on a panel because someone saw my costume. I'm not even joking. This was actually a pretty nice convention for the first time. And I'm excited. I want to tell her all this stuff that's happening because at this moment we're still friends and I still want to talk to her and hang out with her, and she still hasn't shown up. Eventually around, I think it was maybe 3 between 5, one of the 2, I'm going to this Homestuck picture, whatever the fuck it's called, photo shoot, yeah, that. So I'm going there and I'm getting asked for a lot of pictures, and I finally get a message saying, "Hey, I'm finally at the convention. Me and my boyfriend are at the convention. Where are you at?" So I tell her, "Oh, hey, I'm at the rooftop. There's supposed to be a photo shoot going on. Come on up," and finally we get to hang out. She's dressed as Kankery and has the wig and everything on, and it looks pretty okay. And I'm trying to tell her, all this stuff that's been happening because, yeah, she's my friend and I want her to know all this cool stuff because this is the first convention I've got to go to, and she gets a bit angry with me telling her about how much attention I've been getting. Not only that, but as the photo shoot goes on, she starts to get more angry and angry because I'm getting a bit more attention than her when it comes to our costumes. Like I said, I'm only one of 2 people cosplaying as Cronus, and I'm the only troll version, while there's 20 to 30 something Kankeries everywhere. I'm not even joking, there are red sweaters everywhere. And so she's not getting as much attention as me or some of the other cosplayers at the photo shoot or walking around the convention. And she's getting more and more mad because I'm trying to tell her all this cool stuff and I keep on getting stopped for pictures while we're walking, and she's not. She's dissing me, and at one point she even tells me, "Oh, well, the only reason you're getting so many pictures is because there's more people cosplaying as my character instead of yours." What? That's not something you tell your friend. If your friend's getting a whole bunch of pictures or stuff, you're supposed to be happy for them, supportive. You're not supposed to get all jealous and nasty because you're not getting as much attention. Jesus Christ. But I'm walking and I'm upset because this whole entire time I've just wanted to spend time with my friend who I haven't saw in a couple months, and she's doing nothing but brushing me off and acting nasty and basically just ignoring me throughout this whole entire time. This is around 5 o'clock and the Artist Alley closes in an hour or so. I believe it was 5 o'clock, might have been 6, I can't really remember. and they had finally only gotten there to only have a couple hours to stay there and then leave at 7 o'clock. So they only have maybe like 2 hours to even stay there with me, so what the hell. Well, I decided to walk in there with them. I'm still upset because she's been acting very nasty with me, and I'm with her boyfriend and we're walking. And we see this really awesome Loki cosplayer who's manning a panel, not a panel, booth, whatever the fuck it's called in Artist Alley. And they look so good and their makeup is so awesome. And the first words that come out of her mouth is, "Your makeup doesn't look really good." Or something along those lines. I think it's probably a lot ruder than what I just said. But it was something about their makeup, which, that is just plain rude. Like, you don't go up to a cosplayer and tell them how nasty or terrible their makeup is. Unless it's like somebody who doesn't see all their goddamn body paint, but that's something else entirely. And this Loki cosplayer had it down like authentic. They had made the costume themselves. They looked like Loki. And the first thing that comes out of her mouth is how terrible their makeup is and how, "Oh, let me show you how to do it better." Like, you never went and got your cosmetology degree. You keep on skipping out on trying to get it, and all of a sudden this passion for the cosmetology that you once had, you no longer care for, and yet you want to go up to this cosplayer that put their time, their effort, their money into this really awesome cosplay, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is dissing what they look like and what their makeup is. That's just like anti-con etiquette 101. And I can tell this person's really upset because you don't really expect somebody to come up and tell you that kind of shit at a convention. And she's staying at this booth and she's asking them about their makeup, and I stop paying attention. Her boyfriend's walking halfway across the Artist Alley because he's not putting up with it. He wants to go and look at the stuff. He's not going to stay here with her while she's going through this whole entire person's makeup stuff, and I'm not even kidding. She's literally behind the fucking booth looking through all their makeup and stuff, spending all this time on an Artist Alley that's going to be closing in a couple hours, and just basically being very nasty to other cosplayers, to being really nasty to me, and just all around ruining the whole entire day. I had waited all this time to hang out with her. I had waited all this time to just have a fun time with someone who's supposed to be my friend, and they're nasty. They diss me, they diss my costume, and then they start saying nasty shit to someone else who's cosplaying. At this time, I was still a very emotional person, so I immediately, just after all that and just how she was acting towards me, I left and went back to the hotel room. I was incredibly upset because she was supposed to be my friend, and she was just not happy for me. She was nasty to me and all that kind of shit. I had been so upset. I just started crying in the bathroom. I took off all of my costume stuff and I said, I want to go home. I wanted to go home because she had ruined it for me. She had been nothing but nasty to me. She had dissed every part of my costume. She had been nothing but ungrateful for me trying to help her with her costume, with her makeup, with her everything. She had just not been the person I had remembered her as. I guess you could say the rose-colored glasses from my childhood just came off in that instant, and I saw her for the very rude, narcissistic person that she actually was. And as time went on and I stopped talking to her, I started realizing that more and more. We left. The hotel was nice enough to give us the money back for the room and the night that we weren't spending, and I just went home because I didn't want to deal with it. I just didn't want to deal with somebody who was just going to be nasty to me and who was supposed to be my friend. I still see her now and then, and I know I went to a Christmas party she invited me to for some reason, I think maybe a year ago, and she's still the same person. She still has that lol so random and always wanting things her way, always just being a nasty person in general. I haven't talked to her much. She's always constantly complaining on Facebook about how she doesn't have money or how she has medical problems and things like that, but you never see her actually doing anything. I don't even know if she has a job or anything else. I haven't really been paying attention. I don't even know if she's even moved out of her dad's house or not. I don't know, and to be quite honest, I don't really care. I know now that the only reason I even hung out with her or even dealt with her to begin with was because we shared the same classes. That I was a lonely kid who just wanted to have a friend. I don't really need that now, and I don't need that kind of thing in my life anymore.